Hello students and welcome to my YouTube channel. So here we come to the end of chapter 1, that is chemical reactions and equations, and in this lecture we will discuss the various exercise questions related to this. So this part is really important, so pay attention and try to grab all the answers. So here comes the first question. Which of the statements about the reaction below are incorrect? तो इस रिएक्शन के बारे में हमें 4 स्टेटमेंट्स गिवन है एंड वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई कि इनमें से कौन सी करेक्ट है और कौन सी इनकरेक्ट है. दिस इज एन एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चन. सो लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इक्वेशन. इसमें बेसिकली ऑक्सीडेशन रिडक्शन के बारे में पूछा है. तो लेट्स सी, जो हमारा लेड ऑक्साइड PbO है वो किस में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है? Pb में. तो इट इज लूजिंग ऑक्सीजन एंड लॉस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इज रेफर्ड टू एज रिडक्शन. सो बेसिकली लेड ऑक्साइड हमारा रिड्यूस हो रहा है. So this D option, lead oxide is getting reduced. This is correct. Then carbon, let's see. Carbon is gaining oxygen and getting converted to CO2. So gain of oxygen is oxidation. So this C option is also correct. Carbon is getting oxidized. So C and D are correct. So they cannot come under the category of incorrect ones. So C or D जिस option में आ रहा है आप उसे eliminate कर दो. First one is the answer. A and B are incorrect. Right? So here comes the second question. Again, it is an MCQ question. Reaction is given to us and we have to identify the type of reaction. So let's see, this is Fe2O3 and aluminium is added to it. We get Al2O3 and Fe. So we can clearly see this Al, it is displacing iron from this compound and it is forming Al2O3. So this is clearly an example of displacement reaction. So D option is correct. So the third question is, what happens when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to iron filings? Okay, so in general जब आप किसी मेटल के ऊपर dilute hydrochloric acid या कोई dilute acid ऐड करते हो तो हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीज होती है. It is in general, right? So A option is correct. You get hydrogen gas and iron chloride. Fine. So next is, what is a balanced chemical equation and why the chemical reactions? These should be balanced. So just to define it, a balanced chemical equation has an equal number of atoms of each element on both the sides of the equation. And they should be balanced so that they obey this law of conservation of mass that states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. So next question is, translate the following statements into chemical equations and then balance them. So this is very important question which is generally asked in the exams. So practice this properly. First, first question is, hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen to form ammonia. Okay, hydrogen is represented by H2, fine, and nitrogen by N2 to give ammonia. It is NH3. So as the equation was unbalanced, you try to balance it and you get these coefficients. Second one is, hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air to give water and sulfur dioxide. So hydrogen sulfide is H2S. As it burns in air, air contains oxygen, O2. It is giving water, H2O, and sulfur dioxide is SO2, right? And then again, as what was imbalanced, you try to balance it. Next is, barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulfate to give aluminium chloride and a precipitate of barium sulfate. So barium chloride, BaCl2, it reacts with aluminium sulfate, Al2SO4 whole thrice to give ammonium chloride, aluminium chloride, AlCl3 and BaSO4, that is barium sulfate. Again, we have to balance this out. Last one is, potassium metal reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So potassium is K, water is H2O, it gives potassium hydroxide, that is KOH, and then hydrogen gas, that is H2. So you get this equation, you balance it. Right? If you have any doubts in this, you can just post it in the comment section. Next question says, balance the following chemical equations. Okay, so this chemical equation is given to you and you have to balance this. First, you can check if all the atoms are equal on both the sides. Like suppose we check Ca, one Ca is here, one Ca is here, right? Nitrogen, if we check, one nitrogen is here, two nitrogens are here. So you have to balance this, right? So similarly, you can check for the others. So try all these four questions. If you have any doubts, then you can just post it in comment section. Or another option is there, you can join the live doubt session class on Sundays. Fine. These questions are just to give you an idea like how the questions are going to be put up in the exam from the given chapter. Okay. Then again, same kind of question, you have to write the balanced chemical equations for the following reactions. In earlier question, you had to only balance them, but now they are given in words by the name of the chemical formula. And then you have to write down the chemical formula, check if it is balanced, if it is not, again balance it. Okay, so try these four examples. And if you have any problem, then post it in the comment section again. So again, this is similar type question. Write the balanced chemical equation for the following. Additional question is you have to identify the type of the reaction in each case. So this is an additional one. Let's see. Suppose we have this particular equation. We see that potassium is being displaced by barium here and barium is being displaced by potassium here. So it is double displacement reaction. In this reaction, a single reactant is splitting into two products. So this is a decomposition reaction. In the third one, you are having two reactants which are giving up a single product. So it's a combination reaction. And in this one, magnesium is displacing hydrogen to give MgCl2. So this is a displacement reaction or a single displacement reaction. This is a very important and generally asked question. Like you have to differentiate between exothermic and endothermic reactions with examples. So you know exothermic reactions release energy in the form of heat, okay? And endothermic energies will absorb the energy from its surroundings. So very good examples are given here. Just go through them. Next question is very interesting, like why respiration is considered as exothermic reaction. We discussed it in the lectures, right? You can give the equation and explain this concept. It's really important one. So the 11th question says, why are decomposition reactions called opposite of combination reactions? You have to write equations also. Okay. So decomposition में basically क्या होता था, हमारा एक single reactant है और वो हमारे multiple products provide कर रहा है, decompose हो रहा है. और combination में क्या होता है, दो reactants हैं या more than two reactants are there and they are giving out a single product. So they are totally opposite. That's why like this question is justified. And these equations you can mention to make understand better. So this is a very important question. You have to write one equation for each of the decomposition reactions when an energy is supplied in the form of heat. Energy आप heat form में दे सकते हो, light form में दे सकते हो, electricity form में दे सकते हो, right? So in heat form, this is the reaction. This term you must remember. This is thermal decomposition. Second one, आप light provide कर रहे हो. So this is photolytic decomposition. डिकम्पोजिशन क्यों है ये, एक सिंगल जो रिएक्टेंट है वो मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट्स में डिवाइड हो रहा है, ओके. एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज इलेक्ट्रोलाइटिक डिकम्पोजिशन जिसमें वाटर डिकम्पोजेज इनटू हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन अपॉन पासिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, राइट. सो ये तीनों टर्म्स आप लर्न कर लो, ये इक्वेशंस लर्न कर लो. दिस इज very important. Then question 13 is also quite important. We have to tell the difference between displacement and double displacement reactions and give the equations too. So just go through these equations and these definitions. These are good ones. So question 14 says, in the refining of silver, the recovery of silver from silver nitrate solution involved displacement by copper metal. ओके आपने क्या किया, सिल्वर नाइट्रेट सॉल्यूशन ली और उसमें कॉपर ऐड कर दिया तो डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन हुई. तो वी हैव टू राइट डाउन द इक्वेशन इन्वॉल्व्ड. सो दिस इज द इक्वेशन, जस्ट गो थ्रू दिस. So next is we have to define the precipitation reaction with examples. So this reaction involves the formation of an insoluble solid which is called precipitate when two aqueous solutions react. Okay. So an example here is like when we react Na2SO4 with BaCl2, we get BaSO4. So this BaSO4 is actually a precipitate. So this is a precipitation reaction. Next is we have to explain oxidation and reduction in terms of gain or loss of oxygen with two examples each. So we know oxidation is basically gain of oxygen or loss of hydrogen. And these are the two examples. Again, reduction is the loss of oxygen or gain of hydrogen. Anything you can call. So these are the two examples. So question number 17 says, a shiny brown colored element X on heating in air becomes black in color. क्या मीनिंग है इसका? इसमें ये है कि एक्स एलिमेंट है, आपने उसको हीट किया एयर के अंदर, दैट मीन्स आपने ऑक्सीडेशन किया। बेसिकली ऑक्सीजन होता है एयर में, ऑक्सीजन ऐड होके ऑक्साइड फॉर्म हुआ होगा। तो पहले शाइनी ब्राउन कलर था और ऑक्साइड जो है वो ब्लैक कलर का है। ओके, सो नेम द एलिमेंट एक्स एंड द ब्लैक कलर्ड कंपाउंड फॉर्म्ड। तो हमने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट, एक एक्टिविटी की थी, उसमें भी टुक दिस एक्स एज कॉपर। ओके, कॉपर इज बेसिकली शाइनी ब्राउन कलर्ड इनिशियली, और जब हम उसका एक ऑक्साइड बन जाता है कॉपर ऑक्साइड CuO, दैट इज ब्लैक इन कलर। तो रिएक्शन क्या हो जाएगी? Cu plus O2 gives CuO and you can balance it. Next question is, why do we apply paint on iron articles? हम क्यों पेंट अप्लाई करते हैं? सी, कभी भी आप कोई आंसर लिखते हो और देन देयर आर सम कीवर्ड्स, उसमें कुछ ऐसे वर्ड्स होते हैं जो एग्जामिनर एक्सपेक्ट करता है। तो इसमें बेसिकली जो कीवर्ड्स रहेंगे, जैसे अगर आप कोरोजन मेंशन कर देते हो, मॉइस्चर, ऑक्सीजन मेंशन कर देते हो, देन इट्स डन, राइट। सो पेंट इज अप्लाइड क्यों करते हैं हम? कोरोजन को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए, ठीक है। आयरन क्या करता है? मॉइस्चर और ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में इट स्टार्ट्स रस्टिंग, तो वो रस्टिंग अवॉइड करने के लिए हम पेंट अप्लाई करते हैं, ताकि एक लेयर बन जाए और वो एक बैरियर की तरह एक्ट करे और प्रोटेक्ट करे आयरन को फर्दर डैमेज से। So the next question is, oil and fat containing food items are flushed with nitrogen. Why? ये हमने टॉपिक कहाँ पढ़ा था? जब हमने रैंसिडिटी कंसेप्ट को एक्सप्लेन किया था, ठीक है। ये रैंसिडिटी को अवॉइड करने के लिए है, फाइन। तो फैट्स और ऑयल स्पॉइल हो जाते हैं क्योंकि उनका ऑक्सीडेशन हो जाता है। ओके, सो इन ऑर्डर टू प्रिवेंट दिस वी ऐड नाइट्रोजन, जो पैकेजिंग के अंदर जो ऑक्सीजन प्रेजेंट होता है उसे डिस्प्लेस कर लेती है और ऑक्सीडेशन को होने से अवॉइड करती है। नेक्स्ट इज वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दीज विद एग्जांपल। सो वन इज corrosion, वन इज rancidity. These are generally asked in exams, तो आप इसकी definition और example just study this. So next is a very conceptual question. So you have to perform this activity. You have to take 4 beakers and label them as A, B, C, D. Okay. Put 25 ml of water in A, B and C beakers and copper sulfate solution in beaker D. ठीक है, A, B, C के अंदर तो आपने सिर्फ वाटर ऐड किया है और D के अंदर कॉपर सल्फेट सोल्यूशन। Measure and record the temperature of each liquid contained in the beakers. आप सबका टेम्परेचर ऑब्जर्व करो, ठीक है। Now add 2 spatulas of potassium sulfate, ammonium nitrate and hydrous copper sulfate and fine iron filings to beakers A, B, C and D respectively and stir. तो बेसिकली बीकर ए में क्या हुआ? वाटर प्लस पोटेशियम सल्फेट, ओके। बीकर बी में क्या हुआ? वाटर प्लस अमोनियम नाइट्रेट। बीकर सी में एनहाइड्रस कॉपर सल्फेट प्लस वाटर इज देयर, और बीकर डी में हुआ कॉपर सल्फेट विद आयरन फाइलिंग्स, ठीक है। नाउ फाइनली मेजर, इसको स्टर करने के बाद यू हैव टू मेजर द टेम्परेचर ऑफ ईच ऑफ द मिक्सचर। तो हमें वो टेम्परेचर के थ्रू ये आइडेंटिफाई करना है विच रिएक्शंस आर एक्सोथर्मिक एंड विच वंस आर एंडोथर्मिक इन नेचर। सो टेम्परेचर आप यू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन में टेम्परेचर फॉल करेगा या राइज करेगा? एज एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शंस गिव आउट हीट, तो बेसिकली टेम्परेचर राइज करेगा, और एंडोथर्मिक में इट शुड कूल डाउन, टेम्परेचर फॉल करेगा, ठीक है। So if you understand this, you will identify that reactions A and B are endothermic in nature for these beakers, and for beaker C and D, the reactions are exothermic in nature. Clear? Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section.